Hi everyone. Happy Friday. I mean Saturday.
Savage.
Holy bananas. I didn't drink coffee yet. Happy Saturday evening. I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. I'm here with Alan today, and he's from Rise and Clarity, and my Substack is Nourished Inside Out. And today we really want to talk to you about the power of building community. And in order to build community, it's by connecting with one another by sharing our stories. It's this topic was like really pondering. I was pondering on this topic today, and I was thinking about how a lot of like these personal development books or these podcasts that we listen to in the personal development fields, they all have very similar messages, but they all have different stories. I can teach on something and Alan can teach on something, but him and I have two completely different personalities, so we can connect with a different type of audience. And I think that's a really beautiful thing because you just because somebody may not connect with me doesn't mean that somebody may be able to connect with him or vice versa. So I think that's really important of sharing your story. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Anita, for having me. And yeah, we hope to have a nice live session for the people who in need, um, especially with the energy that we provide as a community on Substack. Um, we have to share our stories usually, and the energy is contagious. Uh, both the newsletter we're talking about how to share the stories and how important the community is, especially like is as a medicine. We talk and share and don't be isolated. That's my advice for tonight. Also, what do you think about how do you improve your day to day basis, like your actions on this night?
Something that really helps me set goals and to make my day as productive as possible because I think a lot of times I understand that everybody has different lives, everybody has different careers and different responsibilities. But at the end of the day, we all have the one thing in common. We all have the same 24 hours. And that's not negotiable. You can't add more hours, or you can't make or take hours away. But we all have the same 24 hours. So, how are we maximizing our minutes and how are we maximizing our time? I was reading this one book and it was called The Power of the Half Hour. If you know you have something to do, what can you do in 30 minutes if you have 30 minutes on your lunch break or you finish work an hour early or 30 minutes early? What can you do in that little time frame? So I think that's a really valid thing is being intentional about how you're spending your time. And something that helps me to plan my day more intentionally is to be able to wake up a little bit earlier and not go on my phone right away. Meditate, pray, take my time, not rushing through my morning and really putting intention into what I'm doing. What are some things that help you set your intentions for the day?
Um, Usually recently I try to track my mood calendar, like
Mhm.
what's involved, what's I'm involved in positively, and what's drained my energy, what's boost my energy, and what's drained my energy. And this was very positive to me because I know when I am on my peak of my productivity, when I can focus on my job, especially on the weekends. So I know that between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., as an example, I do the most important thing. And after the 4 p.m., take some break and then do live sessions or watching a podcast is important to me to have ideas. So tracking what boosts me, it was very important. I write it them down. I just adjust my life my on daily basis through this, not always being productive, and it's very normal. And the importance of sharing the stories with people or call my friends just to have communication or go out for community. It's not important to admit that we need networking. It just, it's about sharing your day to day stories. Um, and what else? Especially you choose your positive friends. They give you positive energy, and this is what your surroundings build under a specific community that you want. This is what you have to chase in order to be always motivated and go forward.
Absolutely. I agree with you on the community and the people that you're surrounding yourself with. For me, I personally like, it's like when you tie emotion to it, then you're able to have a more clear vision on what it actually is. And it's like, what does the little girl or the little boy inside of you need? What kind of friends do they need? What kind of friend, like for example, for me, I did growing up, the little girl in me, she didn't have friends who actually liked her, and they were always being surface level or they weren't having true or pure intentions. So because of that, I was always chasing the wrong crowds or I was hanging out with the wrong people. And now as I get older, for me it's really important to find those deep genuine connections, and in order to find those, it's tying emotions to it. It's what is it going to feel like when I'm hanging around these people? Do I feel uplifted? Do I feel empowered? Do I feel more confident? Or do I feel drained? Do I feel bad about myself? Do I feel insecure? I think a lot of times, like, we set these big goals for ourselves. And I love that. I love setting big goals, but we have to go back and understand what does the little girl and the little boy inside of us need, and how are they going to feel achieving those goals? What kind of friends are you going to have around you, and how it's going to feel to have those kinds of friends around you? So for me, it's always tying back to that inner child. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the main idea is to be honest with yourself is where the transformation begins. Because sometimes you're like going out and having fun and just pretending that you're living. At the same time, there is a voice that you already said that the little girl inside you, um, it's not okay. Like something goes wrong, you know? So radically, the first step is honesty. This is the honesty that helps you to transform, especially your perspective. When you change your perspective, um, you stop trying to impress people who are around you because they might have a different point of view or different habits, and it's not matching with your interest, with your growth. Um, so start listening to your inner self, and it's very important to share this with the people that support you. Because, as I said, it's okay when you say that you need people, because at the end you're human and you have to admit this. Um, the importance of community, and then needing people is something very basic. Um, and you feel alive after that when you share your problem with a friend, or you admit that you own this and you reclaim it. Once you step this, you start, you see the growth and your personal development starts to show. Um, yeah, and this is how I was trying to improve to my community here on Substack that you can write your problems, you can measure your level of love, as an example. If you call someone and say, like, I love you without any request from him, or just calling your friends, your family, um, and you can measure your productivity. What did you do today as actions, as positive action? What do you learn for today as one advice, or what do you accomplish as one task? So there's a lot of criterias that you can put them in order to measure and track them in order to grow. What do you think about it? Like how to put your theory into practice, especially when you write it down on a piece of paper. Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, it's just like,
Something happened with the connection, I think. So we'll try to catch Anita again. I think she lost the connection. There's connection, I think, on your end. I don't know.
yeah, it might be the hotel Wi-Fi.
Mm.
Uh, Good evening, I'll turn my Wi-Fi off. All right, we are back. I don't know what just happened, but I apologize about that, guys. So, Alan, I'll go ahead you and go back to what you were saying and finish that off.
Yeah, I was talking how much is important to write it down what we learn as a theory and start measure your action on daily basis. Um, because it's very important to meet people who share the same interest and the same challenges in order to grow.
Yeah. How would you, so for example, for somebody like yourself, based on your experiences, how have you been able to be open and honest and vulnerable with yourself when it comes to writing things down, to be honest with yourself? Because even writing things down is a form of vulnerability, but it's not always easy. So how has it helped you and what has worked for you?
Yeah, and at the first place, it wasn't easy to admit that you have some weaknesses or some stuff that you have to work on it. But on daily basis, I was like insisting that increasing my skills in many areas. This is how to improve your life. And when I start writing, especially with pen and paper, not digitally, um, I was seeing a lot of weaknesses in my writings and in my habits. So I started doing what I have to do and complete the task, and then going to the gym as an example for minimum 30 minutes a day, walking for 15 minutes, just complete what you're thinking. And this is very important, not be with anxious or having trouble with your future, thinking a lot or whatever it has to be. Just when you write it down, it's giving me much clear vision. This is clarity that I was missing. And for sure, as I said all the time, there's a lot to improve. There's a lot of corners that I have to mention and I have to fix, but I'm getting there. I know that I can do more and I'm capable of complete what I was already started, especially by coaching. When you coach people that they need you, you help yourself at the same time. This is the importance of the community that we already talking about, that you are not meant to hide the hardest part of you, where's the story of yourself begins. The more you talk, the less it owns you. The more honest you are with yourself, the much free you've become. So,
Something that I like that you said though, was that when you write on pen and paper, not digitally, because there's some kind of mind-body connection that when you write things down in pen and paper, you feel it, you stick with it, and it clicks and it makes more sense a lot better than just typing something out or doing a voice note. Granted, if you in a public place and you don't have a pen and paper handy, sure, make a voice note or write it in your notes, but go back and later and write it down on pen and paper because that's going to help make it click a lot more and a lot faster as well.
yeah, especially with the practices that you have to do every day. It's if you don't start, you feel like at the first place you feel it's impossible to do that. It's very, very like uh, impossible to complete it. But when you start for tiny small habits, and I'm insisting in my writings on Substack weekly, the importance of tiny habits that you build um, in order to complete reading a book, as an example, or just to go to the gym, or just running, or just doing what you love to do. So it's very important to be self-aware of what you need to do. And this is clarity in your vision and the power in yourself. It will show during your writings, pen and paper, and the ability to recognize your capabilities is within your writings. And there's a lot of like other people, they do see their vision in a different way. It's not writing, maybe by dancing, maybe by doing other stuff that they like to do. So there's a lot of different perspective, different way of seeing things, but do what you love to do and just make it happen and complete the task, and then you go from there. So in your end, that um, you have to tell your subscribers about the upcoming summit, the
Yeah,
the
so
event.
um absolutely. So I came from a dark place. When I was in my early 20s, I got into this relationship that didn't serve me any good at that time. But what I didn't know is that it was breaking me down to rebuild myself. And when I was in those really dark, challenging times, I felt alone. I felt scared. I felt like I had nobody. And I was constantly searching for a community. I was constantly searching for people who I can relate with. And I wanted a community, but I just struggled finding people who understood me. So then, flash forward 2 years later, I started a podcast called Nourished Inside Out. And on Nourished Inside Out, we talk about all things about learning how to heal and find fulfillment within yourself so you don't have fulfillment in people, places, and things. And recently, well, coming up on May 24th and May 25th, I'm bringing the first Nourished Inside Out live because I want to grow with people and I want to build a community where people have a safe space. You know, whatever is going on in the outside world, it doesn't matter because when we're together is that's what matters because I want people to know that we have each other and it's your safe space to connect with people and be vulnerable. So coming up May 24th and 25th, we're having a live Nourished Inside Out live virtual summit, and it'll be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And there if you're not able to stay for the whole weekend, then there will be a 7-day replay available as well. So that's something that we're looking forward to. And we'd love to have you guys join us because you can start something alone, but it takes a village to create something great. And you can't create something great alone and keep going the endurance. So it takes a village to create something great. So we would love to see you guys there.
Yeah, especially they might have the answers that they already search about, or it's been a while, like not having their their solutions for the problems that they might have, and naming them, it's very important, and just take over what they are missing as a parts of their journey. It's very important to have you also, and just you can help yourself and help them in order to build this community and go from there. It's not only one time. You're gonna do it multiple times, I think.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's like the main thing. It's like, we all go through challenges, we all go through struggles, but at the end, don't have to do it alone. It's interesting because today we were actually supposed to do this live earlier, back at noon, but we postponed it because I had like a training slash work event come up, and this girl was talking about her personal experience and she was being vulnerable. And it was my first time meeting her in person. And I totally related with her. And it made me feel like I had a safe space with her, that we can talk about vulnerable things. And that's exactly what Nourished Inside Out is about. You don't have to be ashamed of your past. You don't have to be ashamed of the people who hurt you and struggles in the dark times because we've all had dark times to some certain extent. But the difference now is you don't have to grow through it alone.
Yeah, that's correct. The people that they think that are alone, I think they are not sure about it. They think twice, especially on Substack. There's a lot of supportive community creators and different topics that they can help you find your answers. And on Rising Clarity too, there's two, three, two products, and then on this week I'm coming with the third service. I'm talking about the importance of going offline, totally offline. Don't You don't need social media, just to no triggers, no stimulation, just you and the nature and how to connect with yourself. And you can take a lot of steps ahead, save your time, and just grow. This is what you might need.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us today. Go check out Alan's newsletter and his Substack, Rise and Clarity. And we'll see you May 24th and May 25th. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Anita. Have a wonderful weekend.
Too. Bye.